or I'm at Smith Rock in Oregon. It's the high desert just outside of Terrebonne, Oregon. And I wanted to share some things with you while I'm here. First of all, take a gander of that. Pretty cool, huh? And obviously, due to the title, you all know where I'm going with this. So, with that said, I'm going to walk down and show you the rest of the terrain here. So, bear with me, doing this alone. I spoke with Hangman, was it 11:27 or whatever it is earlier. Gonna share this with him as well, but let's just see what we can take in here, okay? Gotta try to rotate this. It's not working, but I'll just do this. How about that? So as you guys can see, this is pretty incredible. What I call ancient trees everywhere. And you can see in front of me and on every level surrounding me, ancient biblical trees. So like I said, you guys are gonna have to bear with me. I'm gonna turn this around now and zoom in. I mean, is that not insane? All right, so we're gonna continue walking. Bunch of tourists here today. Going on down the hill here, so bear with me, guys. I'm going to try to get as close as possible today, but it's going to be a long walk, I'm not going to lie. As you can see, this twists and turns goes all around there. It's a beautiful view, though, so. She wants to gamble, guys. Maybe you should just take the scenery in and forget about modern day life.
Probably like,
Just saying.
I'm going on a game show, you know, like I gotta win big,
Right.
and then I don't ever have to work again, you know.
While you were dreaming. Sorry, couldn't help myself. As you guys can see, though, everybody's dreaming big. They're just not thinking big. So, again, you know my feelings on these rock formations. Now, Smith Rock, outside of Terrebonne, Oregon, is known to be a volcanic activity, supposedly that created these formations, okay? And I've got a whole new level and theory on the volcanic activity. Anyone that's ever had a compost pile to make your own fertilizer, where you're constantly throwing in leftover organic matter such as vegetables, tree leaves, turkey litter, chicken litter, etc., knows that the inside of a compost litter pile gets very, very hot. And again, I think you can understand where I'm going with this as far and in regards to volcanic activity. But for now, we're going to go ahead and turn this around and take this in because these are biblical trees. These are ancient biblical trees, just like the Bible has stated. Assyria was a big tree. Her branches and boughs reached high into the heavens. And I do believe this to be true because you can't tell me that some volcano decided to like push this up from the ground and therefore the fart was created. I call bogus bull crap all day long, and I honestly don't know how we all haven't seen this before, understood this before. It's very obvious this is an ancient tree stump, and you can see by the activity around the formations, you can see the knot holes within it. You can see the bark that used to be there. And this right here was probably the original tree bark on the outside, and that being the inner tree ring area. And the Bible didn't lie. There were giants in those days. It's very much biblically written, and we're very much biblically looking at it. So call me crazy. I'd rather be crazy than anything like what I see around here. So yeah, we're live, just so everyone around me knows that as well. And doesn't make any other comments like I just heard, like, let me win the lotto and win big and be a millionaire, because, well, guys, that's not going to bring you any type of satisfaction, I assure you. Not only will you be disappointed because you'll always be seeking more, but you will be doomed. Because this life's short. It's very short. We're only here for a little while, but we have an eternal life promised. And that's what I wish people would remember. So right here, this to me seems to be probably what used to be a knothole or structure where the tree limb came out of. Obviously, given the thought and idea that this was at one time a tree stump, and again, you can look at this. This is obviously a cedar tree outing here. This is the bark from a cedar tree that's petrified just exactly as it sits. It's not a rock. And keep in mind, rocks can't come from nothing. Rocks all came from organic matter. Kind of goes back to that saying, what came first, the chicken or the egg, okay? Everything came from something, but something came from everything living at one time. So this did not just come up out of the ground due to some sort of volcanic eruption and just shoot out of the ground, be like, ta-da, I'm here. It came here because it was once an organic living thing as well, which has petrified, therefore creating rock, aka basalt, or whatever they want to call it, because I'm sure they have many names, but you got to keep in mind that in those days, we had a heck of a lot less population living here on Earth. Therefore, our environment would have been different. The testing that they do today would not even comply or even have any bearing on what it was like then. So you had ancient lizards, aka dinosaurs. Well, you had ancient trees, aka your cedars, or your buttes, mountains, bluffs, mesas, and whatever you want to call it. But my friends, I'm here to tell you, these buttes, mountains, and bluffs are nothing more than ancient tree remains all the way around. Yeah, I'm telling you too. You're welcome. And anyone else that will listen, I'd run too if I were you. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Coming after you. Just kidding. You guys look at this. I mean, look. That's a freaking cedar tree stump that broke off right there somewhere at the top. And I can tell you where its remains are because the winding road up here just to get here was just filled with debris of ancient tree remains. Branches, limbs, you name it. All right, I'm gonna keep walking. Again, I tried to get Hangman to come on with me. He is busy today, but that man's whole concept of everything that's going on is something I admire, trust, and look up to.
You're so annoying.
And I understand that he's busy. And Hangman, just so you know, I really, really respect your work and everything that you do. And I'm also here to tell you that if you ever get a chance to look at mine, you'll see that there's more going on than just the ancient tree remains. I mean, there's a lot. And I mean a lot more going on than just the ancient tree remains. If, in fact, your whole world is a far-fetched lie. And it goes well beyond the tree remains, but this is a good place to point out and start with for anyone or point out over and over again, because it's got to spark someone's attention at one point in time or another where they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I just woke up. I see it now. Because there was a time when none of us saw what we see now, right? Well, there was a time then when I saw mountains, buttes, bluffs, mesas, valleys, rivers. And I believe that, in my opinion, the rivers honestly stemmed from the tree root system, which reached deep into the earth. But I mean, it's just, this is a cedar tree. This is cedar bark. This is a broken off tree stump where once stood a Lebanon cedar, or so the Bible would say, reaching into the sky, into the heavens, and shading the world below it. Like I said, you guys have dinosaurs that you believe in. Well, those were lizards. So these are ancient tree remains. There's nothing more, nothing less. These are biblical trees that lived. The population of the world was much different then, way less. And here we sit in a very populated, overpopulated world, according to the Georgia Guidestones, which now are no longer. But you get my drift. You put a koi fish in a koi pond all alone, he gets pretty big. You throw about 10 more in with him, they're not going to grow so big. They're going to maintain their size, and it's all going to be pretty much on the same level, but no bigger than that, because keep in mind that things only grow to their environment, surroundings around them. So get a few giants on Earth, not hundreds and thousands, but a few. Well, you're going to have some big old trees, you're going to have some big old weeds, you're going to have some big old lizards, aka dinosaurs, and you're going to have big old everything, probably donuts too. The point is, the habitat that we inhibit definitely matters with the numeral value, the numeric value that dwells within it. And to me, that's a no-brainer. I mean, it's not rocket science on any level. So you guys, I'm gonna keep this a little short because honestly, I'm dying to go all the way down here, and I promised Hangman I was gonna get him some shots of the up close and personal down here. And like I said, he's your guy on this. I'm just trying to walk in his footsteps. I mean, I've been saying this forever, as you guys know, even well before I knew Hangman was even a YouTube channel. But the thing is, after watching him enough, he's poured his heart and soul into this, and he gets it more than anyone I know, and I trust him, so. But like I said, walking in his footsteps, and Hangman, thank you for what you do. Just want you to know that you're loved and appreciated very, very much. So many people here, even on a cold winter day. Although this would typically be covered in snow right now, which is crazy because I wouldn't be getting to do this right now if it wasn't for the fact that, oh, what do they call it? Oh yeah, global warming, yeah, whatever, but you know what I mean. So, came to Bend this year. Last year we were snow skiing, and this year it's like this. And my daughter said, hey, I know you've been trapped inside, haven't done much since you've been here. Have you seen Smith Rock? And when she showed me a picture, I'm like, I'm leaving right now. So I got in the car and I started driving. And here I am. And it was worth the 45-minute drive to get here, because I've seen all sorts of buttes and bluffs and mountains, or AKA ancient tree stumps or broken off trees or limbs. I've seen so many. Been to Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, you name it, I've been there. But I've never in my life seen anything so obvious as to what this is here right now in Terrebonne, Oregon, known as Smith Rock. And my friends, again, these are not rocks. Not rocks. It's a biblical cedar right there. Tree stumps through and through. And again, my way out of here is filled with nothing but fallen tree stumps, tree limbs, broken limbs, and the like. So I'm gonna come to this edge over here real quick to show you where some of the bark still remains on what this once was as being a cedar. So you can see that clearly. Sorry guys, I'm shaking. It's freezing out here. It is very cold. But I mean, still, some of the bark still remains. And then here, my friends, is the outside, right? Being the bark, and the inside, consisting of tree rings and layers. But this is undeniable. And I can show you hundreds and thousands of pictures of tree stumps, cedar tree bark, and the like that should jog your memory or wake you to some respect, I hope. I mean, I can't do it for you. Can't make you wake up. I can't make you see what I'm seeing, but what I can do is pray, hope, and keep trying along with all the other things that I'm trying on. It goes for the things in the sky. That goes for the sun and the moon that you see up in the sky that are not at all what you've been told, much like these ancient trees.
Oh, that's so great.
And they love
Good Lord, there's so many people here. I wish they could see it for what it really is and not a freaking rock. Look, it's the bridge to Terabithia. Not. I mean, all of this is nothing more than decayed tree limbs. Oh, it's Smith Rock. Like, okay, first of all, a rock is one single thing. This is multitudes and multitudes of solid formations. It's called petrified wood. And anyone that's somebody surely see that. I mean, I'm getting closer here, but I'm gonna have to go around because they're taking pictures down there. So, and being that we're live, I'm gonna go this way. This is gonna kick my butt walking back up this. I am not gonna lie. Keep in mind, this is the high desert, and the altitude is way more than what my attitude is, let me tell you. And I can't go down too far because I notice I'm losing bars right now, so I'm gonna have to go a little bit further. Not much more though, because I've got one bar left, guys. So, yeah. So much for Smith Rock. I mean, did they mean Smith Rocks, or what the hell did they really mean? Look, guys, that's where a branch once came out of. Look, guys, it's a cedar tree bark. Kind of a no-brainer. Look, guys, that's where it broke off at. Right there. You guys ever seen a tree break off at the top or the bottom or anywhere? It's kind of what you get. Look, guys, another huge cedar tree stump. Now, if I could just get all these millions of people to understand and see that. In every cave you see, I'm telling you, every cave, it's nothing more than where a limb once came out of. These are ancient biblical tree remains through and through. I'm gonna say it a few more times too, just because, you know, there's passerbys that need to know these are ancient biblical tree remains, not rocks, petrified wood through and through. Anyone that somebody can look and see, they just use their eyes and their discernment. That is a cedar tree. That is the bark. I'm saying this loudly. My bark is also as big as my bite. All right, guys, so look down there. I mean, come on. Is this ringing a bell with anyone, or striking a chord, or are you humming a tune, singing a note, anything at all? I'm just curious. And that, my friends, is the only bit of snow we've had here in Oregon since I arrived on December 19th, keeping in mind that I don't leave until January 9th. So our podcasts aren't going to be quite the same until I return home, but I don't even know where home is, quite honestly. This world is not my home, I'm just passing through. My treasures are made up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me on heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Ancient biblical tree remains cedar tree through and through all day long, petrified, not a rock, not a rock. Yes, we're alive. You're lucky you're alive. Hopefully you wake up before you're dead. Just saying. Yeah, guys, I just said that out loud. Sometimes you gotta sing it from the mountaintops or the tree stump tops. That's, you know what I mean? Just sing it from the tree stump tops. Or the valleys and the crevices, where the boughs and the branches came out of. Yep, I'm singing it. Finally, at last, I am the only one left down here. I hope so. I hope I scared you guys away. But I also hope you come back and realize and see this whole world through different and new eyes, because it's kind of what you need to survive in this one. Just saying. So guys, I can't go any further down, but I'm gonna make my way back up. But I'm gonna tell you one more time, this is a cedar tree. This is the outside bark that was petrified exactly as it sits. There was something huge, magnificent, like horrible, some sort of a tragedy or some sort of a huge anomaly that came through this world and wiped it clean, destroyed so many things. And we already know there was a flood. And you can look at the rocks that look like they're all smoothed over and like bubbly. That's nothing different than what these are, other than they've been underwater for thousands of years. But I'm telling you, yes, there were natural disasters. There were huge things. I don't know if it was meteorite. I do know the flood was definitely there. And I also know that there were so many other wipeouts, like startovers, like new points of erasing the ugly and bringing in the new. And somehow we always tend to follow in the footsteps of the ugly. And I don't understand why, other than somewhere along the way we lost our discernment. Discernment is hard to come by. Look, guys, that would be a log. Those are tree rings right there. Layers of tree rings. This would have been a log on its side. Obviously deteriorating some, but still petrified, just like me. Ancient tree remains. Hey guys, I scared them off too. That's my job, that's my trabajo, that's what I do. Wake them up or scare them off. There's little bitty guys down there still. I have no idea how they got on that side. There's gotta be another way in. And I believe they said this was the Missouri River. I have no idea what the hell Missouri's doing over here in Oregon. Okay, guys, that was a joke. It's a bad joke, but it was my joke. Doesn't matter. Still mine. And Hangman, here's your close-up of that flat area you were wanting. And I will get you some better ones here soon as I get off from being live here. So, I mean, you guys can clearly see that was a broken off stump right there. Apparently a tree does make a sound when it falls in the forest. It's just not that everyone can hear it. That's all. Mainly because nobody's listening. Nobody even cared to know whether it fell or not. You guys, I can't read your comments, but I promise I'll go back and read them later. Right now, I'm just trying to keep my hands from freezing over and trying to give you guys the same view and intake and perception of what I'm seeing. Hopefully you're seeing the same thing on your side. These are without doubt ancient biblical tree remains. That right there being a cedar at one time, and you can see the cedar bark petrified exactly as it sat. Broken off there, and those also broken off there. Anyone that thinks these are rocks are insane. And cedar rock is not plural, not even understanding that. But a tree has rings and layers, and you can clearly see the layers as well as some of the bark that was petrified exactly in place, just like that. And remember, Assyria was a big tree as tall as a Lebanon cedar, and you're looking at that right now. Puts your Bible into a whole new different perception, doesn't it? All right, guys, I'm gonna go stop this live cast here in a second. Getting on out. Actually, I had some people stop and listen for a second, because here's me repeating it over and over like the dummy I am. But you know what? It's actually brilliant and it works. You guys ought to try it. I know, right? I have no idea. I've never ran uphill. God, I don't know how these people get over there, that little bitty side. It's crazy. All right, guys, I'll see you on podcast on, I guess tomorrow's Friday, so maybe then. And if not, well, you'll know what happened, because I'm in Oregon. And apparently, I am lost in translation. Hopefully somebody will pick up what I'm putting down, though, one of these days soon. So with that said, I am about out of breath hiking this. It's not a hill, it's not a mountain, it's a freaking tree. Climbing a tree house, guys. It's a freaking tree house, man. See? Like I said, this world isn't my home. Just passing through. But apparently these guys are just passing through too. And discernment, well, that's kind of what we all need, right? All right, guys, love you. Can't feel my limbs, can't feel my nose, can't feel my toes, and definitely can't feel my fingers. So, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Maybe bye. Maybe not bye. All right, guys, you're actually gonna stay with me because, yeah, we're not gonna be bye at all. It's okay though. It's probably good that I did this because I got something else to show you. Hold on a second. I should have done this already, but yeah. You guys see that, right? You see all of that? Have you guys ever seen a tree trunk decay, rot, and itself go to compost? Well, that's what a volcano does. Hence, you know, the eruption. And I'm gonna go back to the composting. I'm gonna go back to the extremely intricate and entwined tree root system, which some believe created the underground rivers, and myself believe created both the underground rivers as well as your lava tubes, my people. So yeah, lava tubes. And trust me, I'm getting ready to make a video, but you'll see. Go ahead and Google right now. Google lava tubes and just take a gander of them. You can see the tree bark, the tree portions through and through in every one of those. Google cave entrances. Just do it. Double dog dare you. Google cave entrances and tell me you don't see in that cave entrance what used to be a knothole, or where, what some would call a knothole, but where the tree branch once came out of. I'm telling you, It's all there. Get on Google Earth and look down, and you know all of those little lines and things that look like lightning strikes or veins or some sort of a networking system. That, my friends, in my own opinion, is your ancient biblical tree root systems. And people just get it confused. They think it's terrain or just part of the structure of Earth, but nobody ever wants to get to the root of the question, no pun intended. But I mean, I have to wonder if we're not just living on a giant tree itself. Okay, maybe not, but I'm not gonna lie. Everything and anything seems possible at this point. I mean, just look. Just take a look. And remember, we didn't create this earth. It wasn't our doing. We only had people that went out and just decided what they would agree upon and write in textbooks. So, and apparently everybody's like obeying that because they're still preaching it to this day. But for those stupid damn archaeologists and geologists and biologists, I'm calling bullshit on you guys. Like, grow up, get a real degree, or just don't and bypass that and just use your damn discernment. Use your head, use your God-given gift of, oh geez, that's a tree. It's not a lava rock that got pushed up out of the ground. Lava rocks didn't break off right there. I mean, just use your head. How stupid are we for ever even listening or following any type of educational, knowledgeable, what they want to call knowledgeable procedure? I mean, how stupid and simple-minded we have been. It's time to grow up. Because, I mean, if we can't grow up, we're only growing down. And I'm tired of growing down. I've been growing down for, well, close to 40 years, so I don't want to do that anymore. I've only been awake for a little while, but discernment is present and very necessary on all levels. And that is a damn tree. That is a cedar tree remain right there. Petrified to the fullest. Yes, I said that out loud, guys. Alrighty, there we go. I guess I'm out.